Good morning, everyone. It is June 26th. It is Stitch Day, and I did not plan on having an episode today, but due to the fact that there seems to be so much going on, um, we're just going to talk about some stuff because there's a lot happening, and I woke to the news that a lot of other people woke to. That is, Pirates has a new animatronic, and a lot of people don't seem to be happy about it. And obviously, I'm in Arizona, so I have not seen it firsthand, and we're going to see a lot of comments about it probably throughout the day and throughout the weekend, people giving their opinions. And it seems weird. I'll leave it at that. When you just put a single animatronic in a ride that is, I've lost the track of years at this point, doing quick math in my head, 50 years old, 50 plus years old, and you just do one animatronic, it's going to be weird. Pirates is also one of those attractions that just doesn't need to be touched. I guess I'll wait to see what it looks like in real life, but it seems like it was an odd move to put something there on an animatronic. Sorry, I burped. On an animatronic, creating an animatronic that just isn't really needed, and it's not like it's a brand new type of animatronic. It's something that they've used before, something that has very mixed reviews at this point. If they tried something brand new, okay, interesting, but I think it's a strange move where they're putting their time and energy and money and stuff like that. Tomorrowland must be unfixable. Tomorrowland must have much, much bigger problems than we all believe, which is really bad for that state of the park. Because they're putting their time and energy into things that don't really need to be fixed. That said, we've had a lot of news this week about different things that are happening, especially in Florida. I'll do the quick one really quick that happened last Sunday at Disneyland. Kid gets out of the log. He falls down the chute. We've now seen the video for that. That's unbelievable. Just being very, very honest, having seen the video, I think many, many people have seen it at this point. It's amazing that kid did not get seriously, seriously, seriously hurt or die. It's amazing to me. But my big thing walking away from or watching that and everything like that, stay in the boat, stay in whatever vehicle you're in at any theme park, never get out. That's where you put yourself in danger. You gotta just stay in the boat. That's the biggest thing I gotta say. We've seen this throughout theme park history. Over the last 50. This is not a new thing. You can look at the incidents page on Disneyland. You can look at the incidents page and Universal, things like that. These things go back to the 60s. And I get, the Imagineers, the companies themselves, try to do everything to make these vehicles and rides as safe as possible and give as much warning to what you're going to be going into. You just stay in the boat. Just stay in the ride. But it is unfortunate that, just in recent memory, you have this incident now. We've seen with Splash Mountain and Tiana's, because this goes back to Splash Days, I guess, over the last 5 years. We've seen a lot of people exit the boat mid-ride, which is not good. We've seen, the naked guy at It's a Small World. The cucumber incident at Living with the Land. And there's more. I know there's more. There's the people, and it's not a ride. People, climbing the castle, things like that. I want to say this is not something that's going to continue happening, but I just just don't do it. I mean, it's so simply said, but it's amazing that they continue to happen. Putting yourself at danger, you're putting a lot of people at danger, and yeah, it's just sad that people can't follow simple rules when it comes to it. Yeah. So putting that to the side, that was my quick comment. It was just that one because that one's been really beaten to the ground. The next thing I really want to talk about, because I got a list of stuff apparently, that's why I'm making the video. So the gingerbread house in Florida, Glen Floridian, which has been going on for I guess 25 years, something like that, is no longer. It's done. It's canceled. But the other thing that is interesting with that is, and that was always a big centerpiece to that hotel or that resort over in Florida, brought a lot of people to it, everything like that for all of my California friends. Um, they're not allowing people to resort hop anymore out there in Florida. It used to be where you could just kind of show up at any resort, just kind of like walk around, kind of take it all in. It was a really, really cool thing that you could kind of go from resort to resort, kind of feel the vibe, kind of feel it all out, maybe pick up food, things like that. Sounds like that is no longer going to be a thing, and they're going to be checking to make sure you have a reservation at a restaurant or you actually have, a hotel reservation there. You're not going to be able to just to walk in, take the buses from point A to point B, and resort hop. I'll go back to the gingerbread thing. I think we're going to see a lot of those things that were unique to the different resorts not happen anymore because they're not going to have the foot traffic there. They're really saying to people, hey, if you're coming on vacation, we want you in the parks. We want you to be spending money. We want you to be doing X, Y, Z rather than, because one of the great free things about Florida was you'd have a day where you would just kind of, for me, I'd enjoy resort hopping and checking out all the different resorts, the different restaurants, different stores, things like that. But you're not really spending a lot of money. So Disney's not making a lot of money on you when you're doing that. So they're kind of saying no more. I think they've gotten a lot of people, obviously creating content, things like that. I don't think that's the big thing to do with it, but I think it's much more of the, hey, we're going to shut down a lot of these things that are happening at the resorts. We're still going to make it fun for the guests and things like that, but we're not going to have marquee things at these resorts anymore. It's going to be interesting to see if that's going to happen over at California. Granted, there's only 3 resorts there. There's not as much like marquee stuff. I guess the California Grand has some really cool things during certain events here and there, but that foot traffic is nowhere near compared to it's not as bad, and plus it's connected to the park, so that's gonna be much more harder to monetize. So I don't think anything is gonna change over in California, but Florida, it's interesting that change is gonna happen or it has happened. It's unfortunate because I really liked jumping from place to place, and I think it's much more rather than anything else, it's just Disney saying, hey, if you're visiting the Disney resort entirely, Disney World Resort, we want you in the parks. We want you not just kind of hanging out. We want you spending money. Basically, that's kind of what it feels like. Which kind of sucks, but at the exact same time, I kind of understand it. I think there's a lot of people that were just kind of hanging out in the resorts. So change is happening kind of all the way around on that end. I don't know if California will get too involved in that, but yeah, the big news of the morning is what I started this video with, and it's kind of made me forced to sit down and talk a little bit. Is Pirates has a new animatronic. The results of that animatronic seem to be mixed. I can't wait to check it out myself, but it seems like it is a strange choice to add that in a single room, and you kind of just have decades of different things now kind of getting created within one attraction rather than kind of a consistency flow. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sure I had more to say, but if you made it this far, subscribe. That'd be great. All right. I'll see you all later. I got some sounds coming on Sunday. I need to get back to the parks because I'm out of content again. Gotta turn content. I'll see you all later.